Hey, so oops. This is my look at the new number ones coming out from all the publishers because I did do a video for DC, Marvel, and Image, but it was out of sync. I had it angled weird, so it's like doing this weird upshot. So I was like that. So my vanity wouldn't let me keep that on YouTube, and like I said, it was out of sync, so my mouth was going like this, and nothing was coming out until 5 seconds later. So I'm going to look at DC, Marvel, Image, and bear with me. See, prepared. What was that laugh? And also Boom, Dark Horse, AWA Upshot, IDW, Titan, Vault, and Dynamite. So it's basically all the main ones. I've not done Scout and people like that because, and I've not bothered with Afshock because they're having loads of legal difficulties. I'm just basically stuck with ones that most people look at. And knowing my shop, there's very, very few Scouts, and things like a Blaze as well I've not put because again, it's not something that everybody looks at. So, and they only release like a few every month. So start with DC. So the first one is this one here, which is Green Arrow number one. At present, it's a 6-issue series, but if it's anything like Poison Ivy, where there's a big demand for a big boost in popularity, then it can become an ongoing. So, best way to do that, buy it. The more people buy it, the more they'll be interested. But there's loads of alternative covers which are really cool, like this Black Canary one. It's actually working out better this time. I've switched it around, so I'm filming with my phone and using my tablet to show you the pictures, whereas before I did it in reverse, and that's why it got all glitchy. And there's this one art gem. I'm not keen on art gem, it's just too clean. But I know there's quite a big fan base for art gem. I'm just not one of them. And after that, so that's 6 issues, $3.99. I'll definitely be getting that one. And there's another one coming out, which is Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow, written by Green Arrows by Joshua Williamson and Sean Isaacs. Oh, don't. And then next one, Superboy, Man of Tomorrow. So it's the 90s and early 2000s Superboy, which done by Carl Kessel originally. This is written by Kenny Porter, and art and cover is by Janoy Lindsay. Never heard of either of them, but it's a pretty cool cover. Don't know about this one. 6 issues again. $3.99. There is a cardstock variant for $4.99. I don't know. Superboy's not one that I never really warmed to him, but I might give it. If I've got like a quiet week, I might pick it up. And there's another alternate cover. Right. Like I said, this episode is just looking at the new number ones that are coming out. Pardon me. So I don't know if there's anything else. I'm just scrolling down. So far it's all Superman centric, which are all ongoings, and then you've got John Kent's miniseries. Really sniffling. I do apologise. It's always whenever I film, I'm fine before I film. As soon as I start filming, I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but I start sniffling like mad. Oh yeah, there's this one, which is Speechless. This is a one-shot, as the title suggests, it's Speechless. So it'd be a bit like the Mad magazine cartoons, like what Sergio Aragonés used to do. It's written by and drawn by Gustavo Duarte. $5.99, 56 pages, one shot, featuring different characters from the DC universe. I don't think I'll bother with that. I'm not a big fan of one-shots. This isn't a number one, but I've got to give a shout out for this cover. I love Milestone. Milestone is my superhero universe. It has been since the 90s. And they've done an alternate cover, which is a tribute to the Green Arrow, Green Lantern, or vice versa, series from the 70s. And this is the mini-series which features Icon, versus Hardware. And this is issue 3. I just want to, like I said, I'm focused on issue 1s, but I couldn't pass up on this. cover. Nice tip of the hat to the old Neil Adams covers from back in the day. So do try Mouse on, they're really, really good. And then the next number one is from the Sandman universe, and it's volume 2 of Nightmare Country, and this is the Glass House, and this is the cover. And there's an alternate cover. And another one. And another one. I'm reading Dead Boy Detectives at the moment, really, really good. The Sandman universe is so rich. I'm so glad that they've not closed it down. I just hope they bring back Hellblazer. Been far too long without a John Constantine comic. So, is this everything? I'm so tempted to go for all the other ones that are ongoings, but like I said, I've got to be strict, otherwise it'd be a 3 or 4 hour video. Hope you like the little musical interludes. That's the song I've composed myself. Don't ask. I think that's it. Just checking, for some reason this website has separated the Batman titles, so let's click here for the Batman titles. Just bear with me. Excuse me, back in a second. There'll be some, imagine there's some intermission music. I just don't want to stop the video and it all messes up, because this being the second time around, I'll lose impatience. Okay, so I'm just having a quick scroll through the Batman. Yeah, I look okay. Didn't know if there's any globules. But why am I laughing like that? I sound like such a geek. Well, I am a geek. That's why I'm laughing like that. Anyhow, scrolling through the Batman titles. And I don't think there is any one-shots or number ones. No, that is it. Just a few reprints like the Batman Vengeance of Bane facsimile edition. So if you haven't read that, do read it. That was before Chuck Dixon became the MAGA fanatic that he is now. So it's Chuck Dixon man who's reasonable, and he wasn't being a paranoid red hat wearer. So next after this is Marvel Comics. Hopefully this one won't have any weird interruptions by me. Let's have a look. I'll do Comic Book Dispatch again, because if you want to look at these yourself, then you know what I've been looking at. So this is Comic Book Dispatch. This is what I used for the last one. Okay, so it says if you want to look at the X-Men specific titles for April, click here. So we'll do X-Men first then. Makes it a bit easier. So see if there's any. Pardon me. There's only one. There's a number one here. Sins of Sinister Dominion. I think this is the final part of the yet another crossover for X-Men. Sins of Sinister story. I'd buy the X-Men. I love the X-Men. The X-Men are, I'd say, my favourite team apart in Marvel. Next, it's Fantastic Four and it's X-Men for me. But since the whole Krakoa thing, I like Jonathan Hickman. I like what he did, but it's just so flabby now. There's just too many teams, too many crossovers. And it's taken all the enjoyment out of it. I like to have the freedom to buy individual titles and stick to those titles and not worry about them being relevant for another series, whereas you can't now. You've got to get all the others, and it's ridiculous. They just want more and more. It's greed at the end of the day. So this is the wrap up. Since the Dominion by Kieran Gillen. I mean, the covers are amazing. They really are. like I said, I might go back to Marvel, to the X-Men, some of the X-Men titles if they get rid of the whole Krakoa thing and they start just doing individual series where you don't have, where they're not reliant on other comics. But to be honest, I don't think that'll happen, which is disappointing. Do excuse me. The only one I'm tempted with, but it's not number one in this one, is the Betsy Braddock Captain Britain. I know Tina Howard's had a lot of hate from a lot of people, but I quite enjoy what she's doing with Excalibur and that lot, so I don't know. And there's a Bishop miniseries, but again, it's not a number one. And there's a new music. So some of these Marvel X-Men related miniseries look quite good. So that might be my way in again, just stick to the miniseries and not bother with the ongoing series. So, because like I said, I miss my X-Men fix. So we've done more X-Men. Then we'll have a look at Spider-Man. God, I can't see. My fringe is so long now. Just quickly zipping through Spider-Man. I don't think there's any number ones in the Spider-Man family. Again, it's all crossover centric again. I'm just so tired of it all. I am getting one Spider-Man comic, but it's Miles Morales. I stopped it, but then I got it because I did enjoy number one. And I just thought I'll carry on with it because it doesn't look like it's going to cross over. And it's one that it's the Spider-Man title that you can just jump into straight away without any prior knowledge. It's not bogged down like the Peter Parker stories are. So I'll click to Marvel. This is the general Marvel ones now. I do apologise, I'm really saucy. So the first big release is a licensed product, and that's Planet of the Apes. So I think that's the main cover. There's a few different covers used on it. It's written by David Wogg, who's a really good writer. Artist is David Wachter. First issue, I think, is $4.99. It's a 40-page issue. Another cover. I think this is the cover I'll go for if I get it. I love Planet of the Apes. That was my Star Wars when I was growing up. I dressed like an ape as a kid, and I had the Mego Planet of the Apes figures on the old Planet of the Apes black and white magazines, etc. So that's one I will definitely be getting from Marvel, even if it's just the first issue. And the next one I'll get, because I'm a sucker for this team, if it's done right. And the writers for this one that I'm going to mention is Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, and they're a bit like Jed MacKay, where they've just kind of infused some fresh, interesting ideas into the Marvel galaxy. Saying the galaxy, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy ongoing. Kev Walker's the artist, who's really solid. He started off in 2000 AD, then he moved to Marvel and DC, and the last thing he did was the Predator comic. And this looks a bit like a space western, so I must look for that. I love Firefly. That's another cover. And another one. And another one. I think I might get that one. I'll either get the first one or that one, because I like the film. And for some reason there's a Doctor Doom one, which I hate that when they cross over with ones that aren't related. And a Scotty Young one. And to be honest, I'm tired of Scotty Young's cartoon covers. They're just doesn't do anything for me. There's a reprint of for $7.99. The miniseries of Rocket Raccoon by Bill Mantlo. He had a very tragic last part of his life. Penciled by Mike Mignola. And I think that's who's the covers by Nick Bradshaw, who's very Arthur Adams in style. So if you've never read that, it's worth dipping into. Then there's a facsimile one-shots of Warlock, which is fantastic. I love Warlock. Anything cosmic by Jim Starlin. Amazing. Then there's Warlock Rebirth, which is a 5-issue series. Obviously, this is all tying in with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Pardon me. Guardians of the Galaxy film that's coming out. This is a 5-issue Warlock Rebirth by Ron Mars, Ron Lim. I'm tempted because I love the characters, but you can't get everything. I might just wait for the book. But when the cover's like that, it's very tempting. And there's a Howard the Duck variant as well. So that's one. There's a one-shot Guardians of the Galaxy. Avoid. It's by Ralph Macchio. Not a very good writer. Good editor, but not a good writer. Then relaunching Alien again. Which, don't ask. I hate how Marvel keeps on relaunching the titles. It's by Declan Shalvey and Andrew Brocado. Declan Shalvey's a good writer, but I don't know. I'm just a bit cheesed off of all the crossovers and reboots and relaunches that Marvel do now. Then there's the end of Avengers Assemble, Avengers Assemble Omega 1. That's Jason Aaron's last one. Next month, Jed McKay comes on with complete new Avengers. So I love Jed McKay. Can't wait for that. I will try that. Must admit, that's a nice alternate cover, variant cover. And yeah, that's it for number one. So there is another number one coming out, which I forgot to mention last time. And that is the Star Wars Black and White of Darth Vader. So if you're into Star Wars, which I'm not, that's worth looking at as well. I just can't find it on here. I'm not trawling through just for one comic. So, I'll look at Image now. And go to the horrible Bleeding Cool site. I hate Bleeding Cool. It's like the Scandal mag of comics. It's basically like in the UK, the Daily Mail in America, National Enquirer, where half the stuff is true, half the stuff they just throw out the wall and see if it sticks. So there's Ginormous Cock Jew, which is that, and that is by Jerry Duggan and Scott Kublish, who did Deadpool. It's a bit like a sex comedy meets kaiju. Yeah. Doesn't do anything for me. I'm not. It might sound like I'm a prude, but I don't find sex comedies funny. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm an adult. I have been for a very long time. So if I want comedy, I want something with a bit more depth to it, really. And then there's one from Carl Higgins, which is surprising. It's Deep Cuts, which is a jazz comic, six issues, various different artists on it. $5.99, but they're exercise issues, the double length issues. I mean, obviously, Carl Higgins is known more for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and his Red and Black Massive First universe, so completely different style of comic there. And then Saladin Ahmed, who was the Miles Morales writer before the current one. I do apologise. And the art is by Dave Acosta, who did Elvira, and they're doing a comic together for Image called Terror Warp, which is like a thriller stroke horror. Ongoing, $3.99, looks very nice. That's one I'll be getting, at least the first issue or two. New one from James Tynion. James Tynion, sometimes I like him, sometimes I just find him so boring. Sometimes he's more into the concepts and then the story, and so he'll have like pages and pages of just dialogue, and it's like, or notes, and it's like, come on, just tell the story. And this could be either good or bad. So it's World Tree, and it's like a cyber thriller meets a cult thriller, and it's by him and Fernando Blanco did Detective Comics. So I might give the first issue a try, but like I said, I guess he's a bit like Tom King for me, where some people don't like some Tom King stuff, they like other stuff. I'm like that with James Tynion. Sometimes I love his stuff, like I love Nightmare Country. I enjoy some stuff he did with Batman and a few other things as well. But other stuff like Department of Truth just found such a slog. And then from an old school Image guy, Jimmy Robinson, who did Bomb Queen, there's Junk Rabbit, which is like a post-apocalyptic Swamp Thing meets RoboCop, it says here. And there's some of the variant covers. $3.99, looks like it's an ongoing. Then Howard Shaker's got volume 3 of Hey Kids comics coming out. I've read the first issue of the very first volume, but I've not got around to reading the rest of it. But I will do, because he's excellent. Now, there's not many people who do comics for adults, but Howard Shaker is the one who does that. And then there's Summon of War. Is this based on a game or something? Awakening by Justin Jordan on writing, and Luca Claretta on art. That's a new number 1. No idea what that's about. One Shot Doctor Atomic, who I think was big in the 80s and 90s, by Larry Todd. $3.99. Sweet Paprika, black, white and pink one shots. There's 2 of the covers. There's another one. $5.99, oversized black and white pink comic. I really do apologise again for that. And that's it for the number 1s from Image. So from Image, we'll go to... actually, I'll stop this here and I'll do this in 2... No, I'll carry on. It's just going to be a 50-minute video. Right, so I'll do Dark Horse. I do apologise. I am so bunged up at the moment, and I keep forgetting I'm being on camera. So, apologies. Right, back to Bleeding Cool. Ugh. So there's new Matt Kint one from Dark Horse, 4-issue series called Hairball. Cool covers. So apparently it features a cat. Supernatural Nightmare, that's Junji Ito meets Hayao Miyazaki, and $5.99, 4 issues, got a cat, it's got Supernatural, so if that's your bag, then go for that. There's one which my daughter will be really into because she's a huge fan of Giant Days, and John Allison, the creator of Giant Days, has got a new miniseries called The Great British Bump Off. So it's spoofing a lot of British tropes there, like Great British Bake Off and Agatha Christie. 4-issue comedy mystery series, $3.99. Tempting. Even if I don't get it for myself, I'll get it for my daughter. And then there's a 4-issue sci-fi horror from Steve Fox and Piotr Kowalski. It looks like it's a creature feature kind of comic called All 8 Eyes. These are 2 of the covers. Looks really interesting. I think James Stocko does one of the covers there, who's always good. Apologies. I could do like a bleeping noise, so I could just bleep out when I snotter. But I think that's it for Dark Horse for the number 1s. And after that, again, I'm sorry. Right, so have a look at Boom. Boom, what I end up doing, Boom, I buy the series, but then I stop after 1 or 2 issues because I think I'll get the books, because the books are how they do the trade paperbacks. There's something very nice. There's something really nice and appealing to how the covers feel. It's just there's some kind of like waxy kind of feel to the covers, which just appeals to me. And they just look really, they stood them regularly and they always look nice, stood up, and they're normally not a bad price as well. Plus my local Travelling Man, plug for Travelling Man in Manchester, they do buy 2 get the 3rd one for free for manga and Boom, so it's a no-brainer, get the graphic novels. So they're doing an Expanse miniseries, 12 issue. That's cover A. And it's written by Andy Diggle, who's a good British writer. He used to be an editor for 2000 AD, and then he moved on to DC doing stuff. And Caesars Have Tea from Dan Watters, 4-issue series, $4.99. And this is a supernatural story, and it deals with each issue covers a different season. So that's the covers for the first issue. That could be interesting. Again, sloshing again, so I do apologise. And I think that's it. But one thing that is worth mentioning, it's nothing to do with ongoing comics. There's a graphic novel coming out, and it looks like Boom are doing some Alejandro Jodorowsky books, and he is amazing. He's the one who did El Topo in film years ago. and he created the Incal and all that universe. So he's doing a comic series now based on El Topo, and it's called The Sons of El Topo. And the cover for that, and it's drawn by Ladron, who did Cable many years ago. So if you're into really nice European story graphic novels, check it out. So that's Boom. Going down the list, so we've got DC, Marvel, Image, Boom, Dark Horse. So we'll do AWA now. Now I'm not sure if there's anything listed for AWA yet. No, I can't see anything listed, but if you're buying comics next week, want to get his Black Tape from Dan Panosian for AWA. I think it's like a Supernatural meets rock story, and it looks fantastic. And you can get an alternate cover, which is a tribute to the Black Sabbath cover, Paranoid, I think it was, or something. So that's worth getting. So yeah, unfortunately can't find that. So Titan Comics April releases. Titan's really come into their own now. They're doing some very interesting stuff. Now, looks like it's mostly. Oh, have a look. I think it's just a children's one called Nouns, Noun Town. So if you've got a child, maybe get that. But that's it for Titan. So we'll have a look at IDW. There's a one-shot tying the milk in this roll, it's worth now. There's a one-shot tying into Last Ronin. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin Lost Day Special. That's the cover. I'll just wait for these to be collected. I've not got the first book yet, so there's no point. $7.99. Oof. There's a Rocketeer. Looks like it's a one-shot coming out. Written by. There's no cover. Written by the writer of the film. And that's it for the number ones there. So we'll do Dynamite. Dynamite have really become quite a company to be reckoned with nowadays. They're getting some really good. I mean, it's stuff what I'm not very interested in, but I'm pleased that it's doing. It's helping. It's generating business for them. They've got some great licenses like the Disney ones, etc. And I'm really pleased that they're getting to be a force to be reckoned with. It's nice to see somebody challenging some of the bigger boys. So from Dynamite, there's a one-shot, talk about Disney, and it's Disney villain's Scar. So it's just like an old Scar from The Lion King, and some really nice variant covers. Like I said, it's a one-shot, $3.99, so can't grumble at that price. New number one issue of 007 for King and Country by Philip Kennedy Johnson. They are worth checking out. I did collect these for a while, but budgets and everything, we'll get them in book form. So that's another one that's coming out. And that is it. Yeah. So the last company is Vault. Again, Vault's a company who I like the look of, but there's so much stuff out there now. You can't buy everything. So I might get some of them in collected form. Vault as well, once these one issue sells out, it's hard for them to come back in, especially in the UK. So, but I have heard good things about them. There's a Money Shots new series. I think that's like a space sex comedy. And there's a nice tribute to Infinity Gauntlets. If it loads. It's by Tim Seeley writing. And Giselle Legacy. So it's called, it says it's a sex positive plantation sci-fi comic book. There you go. And that's $4.99. And that is everything. Okay, so we've done it just over half an hour, so that's not too bad. So thank you for bearing with me, and excuse my snottering. I've not played with my hair, so that's a bonus. Hopefully volume's okay, because I've not plugged the microphone in. Don't ask, because I've had to set it up very precariously. The next thing I'll do will be a recommendation of a comic that's come out recently that I think it might be worth just looking into. Okay, and then coming soon, which means I've past few weeks, is Patience. So I just need a bit more patience. But it's a not a dense comic, but it's a lot to get my head around. I don't want to butcher the review of it, the overview of it, and so that'll be coming shortly. And I've shown my unboxing earlier on today, so thank you for watching. If you do like this channel, please put a thumbs up on my channel, mention me to your friends, do subscribe, and I'll try and let me know what you want to see on here as well. If you want to know a bit of my history about how I got into comics, how I got into collecting, whatever you want, just let me know. Keep it decent. And I'll try and incorporate some episodes about that as well. But thank you, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care, bye.